Hello and welcome back to chapter 5, lecture number 32. So in the previous lecture we focused on adding the dead leaves on the terrain, and we changed some values in the particle system to make that look decent. Well, we're not finally there because we need to take a look at a total view when we completed the full scene, and we maybe want to have more dead leaves in the background or the foreground, but we have sort of a base layer, and that's important. Alright, so what I'd like to do in this lecture is focusing on trees. So I will tell you something about the add-on we're going to use and about some background information about trees. So what we're going to do is left click on the terrain, disable the dead leaves in the viewport, and disable the buildings in the terrain so we have a very clear view. Just drag this to the middle. And I want to show you some trees. So I have sort of a small collection. So what you can see is there is a large variation in trees. So you can see the huge tree in the foreground with these beautiful autumn colors, these yellows. But also in the background you can see there's a very thick one, and there is this tall tree but very small. And yeah, these trees. It was sort of a winter, so it's hard to see the trees themselves, but you can see the skeletons and yeah, so there is not just one tree type. You have this small tree, and it has a very small root, and then it splits up in a lot of branches. And well, this is sort of the same type, but this is just crazy. It's just like you look at the tip of the tree, it's just stars and it's spread all over the place. And then you have these giant trees, so it has a very thick root, and then it has these big branches and splits up in smaller ones. So I think there are 1,000 types of trees. Some look like bushes, and some looks like big trees. This is just a close-up of the skeleton of the tree. What is important to focus on when you're going to create a tree? So the big question is, what kind of tree are we going to make? Well, I want to focus on a birch tree, and I have a sort of a small background image that we can use, so it shows us the skeleton, and we focus on the add-on. So what kind of add-on are we going to use? So in the previous version of the course, and if you're totally new it doesn't matter, but for the users who I'm going to close all these image, I used the Grove 3D and spent a little bit time on the internal program, like that was the sapling tool. I receive a lot of feedback from users who said, we want to make trees in Blender and not using an external add-on. And I understand. So I will show you the program that I use is the Grove 3D, and it's already on version 8. And this is a powerful tool to make beautiful looking trees. I think it's the best on the market for Blender. So I can recommend, if you are fully into trees and you love this subject, go for the Grove. But Blender has a tree growing system as well. But you need to spend some time on it to work with it. I did. It's my work, so I have some. I will show some lectures and spend some time on it to make a good-looking birch tree. We're going to do that together. So we're not going to use the Grove. Sorry for that. We're using the sapling tool, and I want to show you where that is. You go to Edit, Preference, and you type in sap, and you can see add curve sapling tree generator. Well, I have this already enabled, and you have to do that as well. And if you do, you go to add curve sapling tree gen, and look at that, you have a tree and you're finished. Well, not yet. As you can see, this generator has a lot of options to tweak your tree, and I'm going to focus on this. I'm not going to spend time on each setting. I have a sort of a list of settings that makes the difference for the tree. So let's focus on these. And we're going to import the background image. We can do it right now. And then we go to the next lecture and we're going to start making the tree. Woo! So I have this reference, small. It's a beautiful, nice reference image from the right scaling. I'll drag this right there, and you can find this image as well. And you have to keep in mind that when you add the tree and you do something else, you will lose the settings. So you have to start again. So we will do that, and we go to Add curve sapling tree gen. It will generate just a random tree, but it will use this background image as a sort of reference. And we'll make this a bit bigger. So we have to tune the tree to it until it fits our expectation. All right, we will delete it. We wait for the next lecture, and then we start making this tree. All right, see you there. Bye-bye.